What's up, everyone? Welcome to Pat's Chat. I'm Doug Kyed, joined as always by Michael Hurley. Michael, good news. The
Hit
season
me.
began.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Yeah.
How the Patriots looked in the second half.
Boy, it was a familiar feeling, wasn't it? Just,
Yeah.
I'll
It
say
was a
this.
little better.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
a little better.
I will say this. This is a little peek behind the curtain for those. Like a lot of people watch football with like beer and bratwurst and
hmm
friends and noise and bars and parties, or they go to
You
the
should
game.
you shouldn't put a curtain in front of the game. You shouldn't have to peek behind the curtain to watch the game.
No. We're going to get to the peek behind the curtain.
Okay.
A lot of people, I watch the game with a laptop.
Mm.
Used to go to the games a lot. Now, not so much, but you can relate. You're watching it with a laptop, taking notes, dutifully
hmm
reporting, all of that. Over the past couple years, I would say more often than not, those notes, they start fast and furious. By the middle of the third quarter, you're kind of done.
hmm
I will say this. We were there until, what was it, the 3.5 minute mark of the fourth when it really went away. So it was
Yeah.
it was almost a full game where they were interestingly competitive, but
Yeah.
ultimately a thud. I
Pretty
would say a
pretty
thud of a
boring second half. The
yeah.
second half really put a damper on
You
things.
had
And
interception, punt, field goal when you're down by 10 with 30
yeah.
seconds left.
And two of those punts were 3-and-outs. And their final drive before the half was a 3-and-out.
And
So,
the pick was terrible.
yeah. So let's start this off. I have a take right off the bat about Drake Maye.
You are a hot take artist. Everyone says that about you. They're like
Not
this
saying it's a
freaking
hot
guy.
take,
Okay.
just a take. Might be cold, might be lukewarm, might be tepid. Listen, I'm not saying that Drake May is not the guy. I'm not saying that Drake May
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to take a second year leap. I'm not saying that Drake May isn't going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm just saying that at this point, we're in year two. Drake May now needs to show it to us. He needs
Yep.
to prove it to us. I think that we all, or maybe not us all, because I kind of dumped some water maybe on the Drake May hype over the
Mm-hmm.
last couple of weeks. But I think that heading into the spring, heading into training camp, based on what we saw last year with all of Drake May's tools and traits, I think there was a large assumption that Drake May is going to be fantastic this year. He is going to lead them to 9 wins, 8 wins. They can beat all the bad teams because they've got Drake May. They've got
Mm-hmm.
this toolsy quarterback.
Toolsy.
Now that we're 1 week in and Drake May wasn't able to elevate the team around him, I think we all need to be at the point where now it's like, all right, we've seen this. Now he actually has to prove that he's going to do all those things that everyone had the excitement and hype about. And that's not even me saying that he was terrible in this game. I don't think he was. I think he played fine at best,
Fine-ish.
but it wasn't what the hype was, maybe. And I don't know who was delivering the hype, but and this is all a pretty bad take, honestly, in the grand scheme
No.
of things.
No, you're getting
But
there.
we need to actually see it now at this point. We're in
Mm-hmm.
year two.
Yeah.
Drake May has won one game as a starting quarterback. You can look at his record last year. It says 3 of them. That's not true. He won one game last year
Week
because
18 against the Bills was
Jacoby
sick,
Brissett
bro.
won one game, and Joe Milton won one game, and Drake May also won one game last year. So, and then he lost a game today. So he still only won one game.
Yeah.
And this, I feel like, was a game that he could have really put the game on his shoulders in the second half, won it. Even he could have played a little bit better in the first half. And once again, I'm not coming into this being like Drake May was terrible. He was the reason they lost all those things. But we just need to actually see it now. And until we see it, I think that everyone has to stop assuming that he's something that he's not, or that he might not be.
So I'm with you the whole time in the second half. Every time they would get the ball back, I would say, all right, now it's time for Drake May to make some plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's not asking too much. And he really, the touchdown pass was elite. That was an excellent pass. That was one of 46 passes. I don't think we could name another one. That was really top level.
He threw in a really small window to Hunter Henry at one point.
Yeah.
Tight window to Hunter Henry.
Wasn't that more of a great catch though? It was the one where Henry kind of fell back and caught it spinning back.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was like a back.
It was the only place that he could have thrown it that wasn't going to
Yeah.
be incomplete or tipped or intercepted.
I would say the hardest thing for me to do, as you made that point, Doug, was not to disagree with you, but to not interrupt you and say, as I'm working through the first leftover thoughts of the season,
Mm-hmm.
The headline is Drake Maye needs to make more plays and other leftover Patriots thoughts.
Right.
And to prove that when this publishes, either like late tonight or early tomorrow morning, to prove that I'm not plagiarizing your take, I just want to tell you one part.
Yeah.
It was for the Patriots to fulfill even the most realistic of expectations placed upon them this season. He's going to have to let those rip and deliver them on the money. A mostly safe plan of attack won't win many games for a team that's simply going to need more out of its quarterback. In a sense, that's a bit of a different world for Maye, as there were numerous valid excuses that could wash away some, if not most, of his bad play as a rookie. This year, that's not going to cut it. If he's as good as he's supposed to be, it's time to show it. Is that not exactly what you just said?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. More eloquently put than me stammering on a podcast, but yes.
Yeah, I wrote that just to make you look bad. I was hoping that would be your opening take. No, but I feel the exact same way. And
yeah,
it's one of those things. Is it the reason they lost 20-13? No, but
he didn't help them not lose 20-13. Really?
We are a quarterback obsessed nation, and
yeah.
there's a lot to it. Like if you want to earn $55 million a year and be the man, you've got to be better. And like you said, this doesn't bury him or ruin those chances, but it was not a good chapter to the what is supposed to be a big step forward. And I don't know, he didn't look too assertive in the pocket either.
Yeah, he was being a little hesitant under pressure, I would say.
There was a lot of coaching in that head of his. Even as he's running, he's sliding, which is good, but you can tell he's thinking more than he is playing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen at least one big play running out of Maye, and we didn't even get that. So it did feel like maybe he was too in his head about it, of like, okay, am I going to get in trouble here? Am I going to get hurt? Should I go down? And there was some windows there where I thought that he could have really like showed off the legs, because like if you watch this game in a vacuum and you saw Drake Maye running the ball, you'd be like, oh, this is like a Kirk Cousins level mobile quarterback. Like
it wasn't as
compared
fluid
to last year where he's like beating safeties to the edge. You know,
there was no fluidity. Yeah.
We weren't seeing the speed and agility. And I think that obviously he still possesses that.
I would think so.
But the fact that like he wasn't able to bring it in week one, I don't know, it all felt very, the Patriots performance seemed reserved in general.
Yeah.
I
would say like there was question marks raised in the preseason with some of the accuracy issues. You know, I think to Minnesota, he overthrows Pop Douglas, goes high on Mac Hollins, and he's kind of like, oh, I'm amped up. You asked him the question if he was amped up early when he missed a wide open Demario Douglas. Later, at his first pass after the interception, he missed a wide open Hunter Henry, just sailing it. And if it's not jitters, it's just got to be better. Like it's just those aren't difficult passes to make in the NFL.
Even like the 1-2. So I obviously do not want to excuse any of that, because like there were passes that were just like, that was an inaccurate pass. That was just a bad pass. I think it was, he fumbled the ball without even being really contacted, I don't think, by Malcolm Kuntz. I think he just dropped it.
I think the helmet got the elbow as the balls.
But it doesn't look like the elbow moves.
I know, but here's a football, for example. This is a good example. As you're back here, you got it pretty tight. As you start to just throw it, your fingers are going to naturally unclench a little. So it could have just been a horrible timing situation.
I think my overall point here was that like he seemed to be affected too much by the rain, which is obviously not a good sign for a quarterback who's going to be playing in a lot of bad conditions. But the immediate throw after that, I think it was the immediate throw after that, was the one to Hollins, which also was just like not at all where Hollins was expecting that ball to be, I think. Yeah. So that was just like another one that was like, I don't know. The accuracy was a little bit, because I actually think is like accuracy was a strength last year for what we expected out of him. And then today it really did seem like it was at times all over the place.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was one where he did thread a needle over the middle, and I think the 3rd and 5 conversion of Diggs at the end of the third was a pretty nice pass. So it's not as if he sucked. I don't think we're saying that.
No.
But yeah, it's. But
like everyone expected more. Like they needed more is the point here, and they didn't get it.
I would agree with you. I think we're in agreement there. Well, that was my headline takeaway, but I have another one.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the defense, you're looking at like a feast or famine proposition.
Right.
And I think that is a horrible way to live. I don't think that's sustainable. And I don't think they were going for that, but the results were when you blitz like crazy,
right?
When you just sort of throw the kitchen sink at Geno Smith and it works I don't know, 35, 40% of the time. The 60% of the time when it doesn't work, it is horrific. And I think an early example, they sent Carlton Davis on a corner blitz on 3rd and 2. And what did Geno Smith do? He says,
he was like, I'll just throw it to Drake Myers.
I'll just throw it to the person you left all alone. Like, do they think Geno Smith was like, oh my God, what the hell? And that they got to him.
My second least favorite defensive play call of the game, I would say.
Was the zero blitz on 3rd and 20? Like,
well, it wasn't a zero blitz. Like you've got, no, it was the touchdown to Trey Tucker when they dropped Christian Barmore and Milton Williams into coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Sent Marcus Jones.
No, you got
sent Robert Spillane.
You got to do it. You got to send those guys back. You got to, if it's red zone, let's drop our big guys just into coverage. We don't need to get to the quarterback. It's fine.
But like doing that, dropping one guy can sometimes produce like a fun play. Like I feel like Vita Vea is like made interceptions on that, or like bad at the pass or whatever it is.
Even today, Max Crosby had a sack, quote unquote, after dropping into coverage. Like he dropped into coverage and then chased Maye down.
But when you drop both 300-pound guys and then blitz Marcus Jones and then expect Jalen Hawkins to pick up the wide receiver runs a 4-3, it's just like there's too much stuff going on here now.
Wait, can I quibble with, or can I ask you, was it not a zero blitz on 3rd and 20? When
it might have been, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure they sent 8 guys.
Was that the one that was when Carlton Davis allowed the catch Dante Thornton?
I'm pretty sure they sent 8 guys after the quarterback, none of whom got there. And it's like, you just don't need that on 3rd and 20.
Right.
That is like, I hate to say it, a year ago at this time, we were making the same critiques of Gerard Mayo's team, being like, why are you sending a zero blitz on a 3rd and 20 situation when you can just allow a pass underneath, get the ball back and
just get
the
ball back. But I think some of those issues could be fixed when you have Christian Gonzalez back, because Alex Austin played well in this game actually, but when you have Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis out there, I think that you can get away with some more of those things. I also think that there's a possibility that when Christian Gonzalez is back, maybe they also take less risks, that they're just like, you know what, we don't need to do all of this when we have one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL on the outside and one of the best number 2 cornerbacks on the other side.
I want to say this too. I think I said on this podcast, you can expect, like, you didn't really need Gonzalez against this because there's not great receivers.
Yeah.
Well, Bowers had 100 yards.
He did
very easily, which probably would have happened.
Myers had like 90.
But Myers had 8 for 97. I had him at 8 for 80, so he's a little better. And then that trio of like Tucker, Thornton, and Michael Mayer had over 100 yards combined, which I just didn't have. I didn't have that as the expectation. That was probably the difference in this game being 3 points the whole time, or the Raiders carrying that 10-point lead throughout the fourth quarter, which we should say, Doug. 13 minutes and 17 seconds. Everybody, welcome to Patch Chat. The Patriots lost their week 1 opener 20-13 to the Las Vegas Raiders at Gillette Stadium, in case you didn't know that.
Thank you for doing that.
We just jumped right in.
Do you have thoughts about the Patriots running the ball 3 times in the second half, and one of those was a Drake Maye rushing attempt? Because maybe you're putting too much on Drake. Like, obviously you think that Drake Maye can be the strength of your team, but also, I don't know. I mean, like, Trevion Henderson clearly looked better than Ramondre Stevenson in that game. I think mixing in a few more touches for Henderson in the second half probably would have helped a little bit. Kayshon Boutte also was targeted only 3 times in the second half. He was like their only real downfield threat in this game.
Which
I guess
is
Hunter Henry had a long catch too.
That's a borderline use of the word downfield.
Yeah, but he was averaging. He was averaging almost 20 yards per catch. You know,
he's an intermediate guy. I think that killed him. Let's just, like, you look at that receiving room, and Efton Chisholm can't dress because there's too many guys there, and it's like there's still nobody that can run a go route on the Patriots.
Hey, Boutte beat Derek Stingley last year. I want to see.
I'm not saying ever. I'm saying at what I saw today. There was no downfield threat. I mean, Kyle Williams, we saw barely play at the end. I don't know if he's supposed to do that.
He only filled in really when Kayshon Boutte was banged up.
So he got a catch at the end in garbage time. So
he
got that out of the way.
Too,
But did you ask me a question?
I don't think. Oh, about the 3 rushing attempts.
It was they never ran the ball. I think at halftime, I tweeted the stats. They had running backs had maybe 5 carries. Does that sound right? No,
I think they had like 12 at the half.
I'm checking my own Twitter page, which is always a good idea. They had
I
12
think they had,
carries for 39 yards in the first half, and they finished. They only had 13 carries for 74 yards or something, or not even, no, 45 yards. They had 45 yards from 3 running backs, which you would think that would be a bigger part of what they're trying to do.
I thought they were going to come out running the ball. Yeah. But then I think after that interception to start off the second half, it feels like they just completely panicked and abandoned the run.
Yeah.
Which was kind of strange.
That is strange. Because if you had Alex Van Pelt in there, say, doing it for the first time, you can understand it. Josh McDaniels has coached some football games.
Right.
That is a big question. And I know Vrabel might have brought it up on his own after the game, or maybe he was asked about it, like why they didn't run as much. He said, we got to be more balanced. It's just, I don't know how it was never as if the game was so far out of their grasp that they had to just throw.
No. Right.
And
until it was until it was a 2-score game at the end.
Yeah.
But beyond that was at what? There was 6.5 minutes left at that point.
6:50, they kicked the field goal. So
yeah,
at that point, you're down 2 possessions. You're actually driving before the Will Campbell false start. So that kind of screwed things up. But yeah, they definitely, it doesn't help. And everything we said about Drake Maye coming in is affected by a team that can't run or doesn't even try to run the ball. Forget about can't. Just doesn't try. And I think that the other side, I mean, the Raiders didn't run the ball either. They did get a touchdown on the ground, but you've got to have more control of the game, I would say, from a play calling standpoint, than to just let it get away from you.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It was strange. I guess they also didn't really have a lot of plays in the second half before things got out of hand. Like they had 6 plays before the interception, 3 plays. But like, yeah, I would have liked to have seen some more runs mixed in, especially on those drives where they were able to pick up first downs.
Yeah, I mentioned before we started, I had a couple takes I wanted to throw at you, and one of them involves the running back, Ramondre Stevenson. I want to see how you feel and tell me like, this might get people unsubscribe because people hate this man. I know what the stats say. I know I can look right over my shoulder and see the stats. I thought Ramondre Stevenson physically kind of looked good.
Interesting.
He looked a little quick, a little spry. He held onto the ball. I don't know. I know
he did hold on to the ball.
Again, I know what these stats right here say, and it says he sucked. I know he could have chipped more on the strip sack, but didn't.
Yeah.
However, I thought he looked kind of good.
I thought the first few carries, there was a thought in my head at first of it looks like he's running in sand. But then the next couple, I thought he did look a little more spry.
He had a red zone carry that got them deep toward the goal line.
I just think that it's tough to compare him to TreVeyon Henderson because
I think Henderson looked better. I want to be
much
clear.
Faster.
That first run he had was 7 yards. He is the same thing he did all preseason, where he kind of runs and it looks like you expect him to go down, and he just avoids it and keeps going and gets 4 extra yards. So Henderson looked better. I'm not saying that.
Why don't you use TreVeyon Henderson more in this game?
What would you have been afraid of? I don't think that defensive front was one you're afraid to run at.
I know. Maybe
they're not like a big, heavy, imposing defense.
It's not like they were using him and he was failing. Like he had the 14-yard carry on the fake tush push. He had the 7-yard carry that you're referring to, and beyond that, he only had 3 other carries. Like he wasn't doing a lot through the passing game, but like it's not like he was getting opportunities and failing at them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was strange. And like I don't know. I have another. I have before you give you have 1 or 2 more takes, right? That you wanted to.
There was a similar to one of that, but we can save it.
I'll let you do that next. This is me being like the most optimistic person in the world, maybe, and like this is maybe not 100% serious. Maybe this is only like 80% serious.
Okay.
Losing this game might not have been the worst thing for this team because I don't think this team is very good. And I wouldn't want, I wouldn't, no. I wouldn't want to happen this year what happened last year, where everyone was like, they won. This team's going to be great. Oh my God. And then like by the end, everyone was just so sick to death of the team and how bad they were, because I think that week 1 game kind of raised expectations too much.
Do you know what I forgot about that game too? I was doing BST the other night, and
Yeah.
Megan Ottolini mentioned it, and I almost fell out of my chair because I forgot the game balls everybody got
Oh
from
my
that
God.
game, which
Everyone
were a
got a game
week.
ball.
Didn't they come after the Seahawks lost
Yes,
too?
they
Because
did.
they took a while. That is what you're talking about, where it's like, what are we celebrating?
Right.
So I think that's an interesting take. I don't know that it's
like
right
maybe
or
it's
wrong.
not the worst thing if you're not the most talented team in the world to lose in week 1. And I don't know, but it did feel like with the amount that they weren't using Henderson, they weren't running the ball, and like on offense, it felt like they were playing it so safe and conservative. And then it was like the complete flip side on defense. Mm-hmm. So it leaves me really kind of questioning what this is all going to look like, because I think that we all thought the identity of the offense, I'm not a big identity guy, but I think we all thought the identity of the offense was that they were going to be running the ball and coming out running and trying to pound the ball and everything like that. And we saw none of that. So now this is really having me question, does a team even, and I actually believe, do you want to hear something? I don't think teams have identities. I think the whole identity thing is kind of nonsense.
Well, first of all, we are on a podcast, so I would refrain from ever asking, do you want to hear something? Because like, yeah, hell yeah, buddy. The buds are in my ear. Let it rip. But yeah, you're right, because I think the other element of the summer that we saw develop was that it seemed like they wanted to, for lack of a better term, dumb things down for Drake Maye, like simplify things and not put everything on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And they just never
then they threw the ball 46 times.
Right. And granted, like, I don't know, 12 of those at the end were all garbage time, little underneath completions that were mostly useless. But still, like the ratio was way off. Everything was way off on that. But I wonder, not to go into next week too much. We'll do that Thursday or whatever. But their week 2 opponent had a much worse day. And I'm wondering
they definitely did,
if Daniel Jones can go 22 for 29 for 272 yards and a touchdown while running, let's see, 7 times for 26 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Maybe we should delete the start of this podcast.
No, because that would be him showing it to us.
Yeah. And it's, I guess,
strengthens our point.
It's a good opportunity for him.
Yes.
Theoretically, I mean, week to week, early season,
right?
The Dolphins could shut him down and have their best game of the year next week. I don't know, but I think that makes you wonder if the strategy changes at all. Because granted, the Colts did run the ball well too, so it was just. But maybe it's an opportunity that we didn't foresee. We saw Raiders game should win, Dolphins game probably lose. These things are fluid. Perhaps we had it, flip it.
Did you think at all, this might be a dumb part of my brain, but the last drive, they get the ball with 1:48 left. They have 10 plays, 54 yards, 4 first downs. I guess it didn't really matter because they were going to have to do an onside kick anyway. But at any point in that drive where you're like, this is taking them way too long. Just try a chunk play. Like, do something to get down the field a little bit faster here, guys.
They were taking what was given to them. I don't know what the deep coverage looked like. You were in the building. I assume they had a little umbrella back there.
But still, like, you're going to lose the game anyway. I guess you don't want to, like, just feed Drake Maye an interception, but still, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was check down,
come back. It felt a little bit like giving up there at the end, conceding the loss.
Yeah. We didn't mention Drake Maye had a reception. That was cool.
He did. He caught his own pass. That's some good fantasy points right there.
That was one, too, where I expected him to kind of beat the guy to the edge, and he didn't.
Yeah, for sure. It felt like he was not... I don't know. It felt like he wasn't fully unleashed as an athlete in this game.
I agree. There was not any fluidity to it. It was like a robotic, chunky kind of thing.
What'd you think about the punt at the end?
Oh, the 21-yard punt?
Oh, well, first of all, the punting in general from Bryce Baringer in this game was bad. But
he's the only one, by the way. Hold on. Yeah. He's the only one. Mike Vrabel was very diplomatic at the podium. He only called out one person, and it was not by name, but he said we had the bad punt. Everything else was we need to be better. I got to look at the tape. That was we had the bad punt.
To which it would have been appropriate to ask which one, because I think he had 3 bad punts in this game.
3. He definitely had 2, but you're right. I think there was one from his own 36 from his own 45 that made it to the other 36. Is that the last one?
He had a lot
21
of 21
yards. So yeah, whatever.
I looked it up earlier, and we'll get into Bryce Baringer more later.
I hear you asking the question, But when 4th and 5 turns into 4th and 10,
yeah,
I don't know the percentage of hitting 4th and 10, but it's got to be, I don't know. What do you think? 17% success rate. Maybe you get a penalty, but
I'm only asking because other people asked it. I really didn't have a huge problem with it at the time because I was also like, the Patriots aren't winning this game. So
well,
it's 4th and 10.
I don't like that reasoning. I just think if we look at the timing of it, right? They
No,
should have gotten the ball. They should have
yeah.
gotten a stop. I think
If they hadn't allowed that catch to Dante Thornton, then they would have, gotten the ball back earlier.
So it's 4th and 5 at midfield, turns into 4th and 10 at your own 44. If you turn it over, you lose the game. There's 5 minutes left in the game. I don't think that going for it there is good. Now, what you want is your punter to not kick it to the 35.
Well, yes. So I brought it up. So second quarter, Patriots are at their own 35. Bryce Baringer punts 39 yards to the Las Vegas 26 and went out of bounds. So that's one that very much should have gone within the 20 and didn't. That was the least bad of the 3 bad punts. He had another one from the Patriots 39 that was down by Caleb on Chason at the 20. So that was a 41-yard punt. That was another bad one. And then the worst one of all was the aforementioned 21-yard punt at the end there that went from the Patriots 44 to the Raiders 35. So all in all, I think that this, like, having 3 bad punts in one game is pretty awful for a punter.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I would agree. That's not what I mean, he's a football player. He's on the team. It's got to be better. Do you want to do, because Will Campbell was the 4th overall pick in the draft, got a lot of attention before the draft, during the draft, after the draft, all preseason, played a real football game today.
Mm-hmm.
I would label it as up and down. I would say the penalty there that we mentioned was probably the lowest point. The strip sack, he got beat to the outside, which we've seen a few times in the summer. And he did technically, his guy sacked Drake Maye, but I don't think we put that on him because Crosby forced Maye to kind of run away right into the person that he was blocking. But I think on the positive side, go ahead.
There were 2 false starts, by the way.
True, but I don't remember the first one. I saw that, and I was like, I kind of forget that one. Jared Wilson had a hold and seemed to miss a block on the 3rd and 5 conversion at the end of the third quarter, but otherwise wasn't brought up much, which I think is what you want. But Will Campbell, obviously much more important.
Yes.
I think he looked good in pass protection a lot of the time. He held his own. He didn't face Crosby as much as I would have expected.
Yeah.
Given the injury situation. And even when he did, I've never seen an edge rusher jump inside as much as that guy. It's insane. He's just like, I don't want, and he does have outside moves.
Right.
But he'll line up like way outside. What do you call that? Wide whatever.
9? Yeah.
He looks like he's in wide 9. And then he's like over the center on the other shoulder in like 3 split seconds. It's like, what the hell? Anyways, Will Campbell, I thought
off guard. Yeah.
If I would have put a grade on it, we're doing grades like a C.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which number 4 pick, maybe you don't want, but all things considered, and the ankle injury, it wasn't, I don't know. If you search his name on Twitter, which I was trying to get a video, some people are pissed. So I wouldn't go crazy about it.
Pissed. It was up and down in the sense that, like, in the first half, it was very up. And then by the end it turned down. It could have gone so much worse for him week 1 against Max Crosby. There were enough, maybe not game breaking plays, but like plays in key situations that didn't go well, that I can understand why overall was viewed as a disappointment. Because, like, you'd prefer that if those plays were happening, it wasn't like a strip sack in the second half or a false start that's taking them out of going for it range. They were impactful plays. So I personally think that, like, there was definitely some promising elements of that game from Will Campbell, but I also think it would be almost kind of disingenuous to be like, no, it was great, because those plays did happen and they happened at key moments.
I just think when you generally look at and we don't know how he was as a run blocker, which is supposed to be his strength because they didn't run the ball.
Right.
So we didn't really get to see him get out in space or get moving, but I'm not going to do this, but if you look at Joe Alt last year being he was picked what, 6th? 5th overall. I bet if you look through his game by game, like there were ups and downs. So, and you saw how good he looked against the Chiefs the other night. So I don't think just by virtue of being picked in the top 5 at tackle, you're going to be Orlando Brown right out of the gate.
No,
or whatever it may be.
PFF
was that a good example?
Absolutely. PFF gave him a 63.4, which is like for a week 1 NFL debut, you'll take that, you know?
A little worse than a C, I guess, but
no, it's not really that
because no one
way
gets
though.
100.
Because no one gets 100 and guys get like 20s, you know?
Sure. Yeah. So on a scale, it's probably a C.
Yeah, like 4 guys, 5, I don't know, a lot. Like half the Patriots got less than a 60. So it's really not that type of scale. So yeah, it was fine.
You want to do the other rookies while we're here? We did
Yeah.
Henderson. We liked what we saw at Henderson. Williams, we didn't really see at all. You'll have to help me on this one because I watched the game on TV. Woodson didn't. I mean, I saw him out there, but I didn't. I saw Geno Smith throw for 362 yards.
You forgot Jared Wilson again, by the way.
Well, I mentioned him earlier.
Jared Wilson did allow a lot of pressures, but overall, I thought once again it wasn't like a complete disaster from Jared Wilson.
Right, which is whatever. I just I saw Geno Smith throw for 362 yards, which is the 5th highest total of his career. Really 4th because one of those had overtime in it.
Yeah,
and being part of that secondary is probably not. You probably weren't part of the solution, and didn't really see him come up. So did you notice anything in the stadium?
Yeah, he made some decent tackles out there. He made some stops. I think it was a good sign that like he wasn't necessarily the guy around a lot of the big plays. Like we saw obviously Carlton Davis around a big play. We saw Hawkins around.
We saw actually often nobody around big plays because guys were just wide ass open. So I don't know.
Right, that obviously doesn't help either. But like Christian Ellis was around big play, so he wasn't around a big play.
That was a big one that you mentioned. The Christian Ellis was that 4th and 1.
Yes.
Geno rolled left, couldn't run, didn't have his out, and he just says, "I'm going to throw back to that guy" because Christian Ellis got caught looking.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, I think it was a very decent debut from Craig Woodson. Hawkins very up and down in this game. Sack, run stuff, interception, but also had the 15-yard penalty and also let up the touchdown on the first drive. So like
that was my take.
Say that, Hawkins was a bigger issue than Woodson in this game.
He was my take. My other take I wanted to run by you, Jalen Hawkins, because I would say, a leery eye on the safety group after an odd summer of trying to get rid of 2 good safeties. I really want to see, like what is it that gives them the confidence in Woodson and Jalen Hawkins? Because like Woodson's a rookie and Hawkins is on his 3rd team in his 5th year, I want to say. So that doesn't mean he stinks, but it means no one's had him like, we got to keep Jalen Hawkins. Whereas the Patriots have been like, let's get rid of Peppers and or Duggar because we have Jalen Hawkins.
Right.
And I know he had the pick, but it was tipped.
Yes.
By Davis. So, I mean.
He had the sack, which like it's an impactful play for a defensive back, but it is like
he did his job.
Usually, those are blitzes. It's not necessarily like a safety doing an incredible job on the sack.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was my take, was that he really didn't have a good game because he started off poorly. He gave up the touchdown and the penalty. I'm not really super critical. He tried to dislodge the football with his helmet instead of tackling Myers, but they called him for lowering it. Like
he
that
went
one
low. He went like that's where I have an issue sometimes where it's like, he led with the helmet, but he was trying to tackle low and then Jacoby Myers just kind of falls at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. But he gave up I guess I had another one in there, but I don't know. I didn't look at Hawkins and be like, oh, I see why they had the summer that they had. I didn't see him look great.
Right. No, I think that's fair. And
we're too aligned, Doug. You basically made the point before I could say it twice. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to start making stuff up to fight with you.
I think that's good. You should have really argued against my Drake Maye take. I think
I literally wrote 500 words of the exact same take. It was outrageous.
Oh, are there any other rookies? You had Julian Ashby as an A+++. I only had him as an A+. So that's you're a real idiot for that one.
I was joking, but he is a long snapper. I mean, Borregales missed a 40-yarder, which was an inauspicious start. Made a couple, a 44-yarder, and then a 35-yarder. Didn't get flagged on kickoffs, which seems to be happening a lot around the league.
Dude, what the hell was that kickoff from Daniel Carlson?
I think he slipped. I think he slipped.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, why would you squib it? You're just like conceding,
He like kicked it
giving him
into
that
all the
penalty.
people. Like you can't kick
Yeah.
it into all the people. I
Well,
think he
the
slipped.
funny thing about that too was that I watched him come off the field and everyone was giving him like a high five. I was like, did they not want to kick that to Trevion Henderson? What the hell was that?
Yeah, I think he slipped, but maybe they're like, nice job, you didn't tear your quad. We love that
Yeah,
about you.
good job, dummy. Why don't you do that
But
again? We'll
yeah,
kick your ass.
Borregales, that was an inauspicious start, I would say. Made you a little
Yes.
nervous.
I think
I have a
Parker
thought.
Romo current team was a trending Google alert in New England after that miss.
I have a thought, and it's not new. We've been doing it since April, and people for sure overdid it then. So I'm not going to overdo it. But for a team that had gone 8-26 over the last 2 years to spend 2 picks on a kicker and a long snap, 2 positions that I'd venture to guess at least 2/3 of the league don't use draft picks on or don't have drafted players, is still a little bit insane. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to go relitigate the whole draft and say who you could have gotten in the 5th round instead. I'm just saying you needed more shots, more lures in the pond.
Especially when like Marcus Bryant was a hit, Efton Chisholm undrafted was a hit, Elijah Ponder undrafted was a hit. So yeah, it seemed like they knew what they were doing there at the end of the draft. Kobe Minor obviously didn't make the team, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think you look at that, and I joked, but I mean, the long snapper didn't screw up today, which I think is what you're looking for on a rainy day in New England. Like, he could have had one slip. I don't know. Ask Bryce Barringer though. Maybe not. But
I'm
those
still
are your 2 other rookies to talk about.
I'm still not that fired up about the 2 specialists in the end of the draft because what they have 10 picks, but still, like, I understand the point, and I understand that yes, a long snapper especially is someone that you should be able to find undrafted after the draft because like,
or actually on your roster because you had one.
That too. I mean, yeah, they did already have one. They were able to get a cheaper one by drafting one, but still,
Yeah.
and a kicker like,
don't get me started on the long snapper salary talk again. I watch Boston sports media like, oh, this is the highest paid thing. It's like, yeah, by $300,000 from the cheapest to the most expensive. It was a bit much.
It's fair. Do you know what I observed that was kind of funny?
No.
You're speaking about cost. So because it was raining, they had these little like tarps on sticks they were holding above whichever side just came off the field. So like after the offense came off the field, they would hold these tarps on sticks. It was like they were staffers holding them on each side,
like
over
a little
the quarterbacks tent? And then over the wide receivers and running backs, like a little tent, but it was things that like staffers had to hold on top of them. And then after the offense was back on the field, then the staffers had to like move and walk over the defense and then hold the tarps over them. And I'm like, couldn't they just buy 4 of them? Like, why do we only have 2 of these things? Can't you just buy 4 and make them more permanent?
Yes.
I don't know.
You could throw a logo on there and it's making money.
It pays for itself. You're making money at that point. Yeah.
Which I'm still shocked that they haven't marketed the blue tent.
Yeah.
Blue Sky Security, isn't that a company?
Right. Or even like the like Brigham and Women's blue tent or something like that, you know?
Well, I'm thinking like Surface Tablet. It could be the Surface Tablet tent. It looks just like it. You could do a little artwork. I'm surprised. I guess they find, maybe someone said that's a little uncouth, but I'm still nevertheless surprised because the NFL does not lead the world in couthness or couthicid.
They don't. A positive, no major injuries out of this game.
Mm-hmm. Booty was banged up but came back.
Harold Landry was banged up but came back.
He had a good debut. I'd say Landry.
Both of them. If we're doing booms and dooms.
Booms and dooms. Landry's your boom.
Well, Landry and Booty are the 2 biggest booms.
Yeah, we should say that because we did that the other day. Like, this is the, hey, listen, we're fair. We're positive where it needs to be. Booty, like I said the other day, changed the dynamic of the receiving room. And after a very strong spring and summer, he carried it through in real live game action and was very good.
This is especially fun for me because my colleague Andrew Callahan was very like dismissive of Kayshon Boutte. So every time he makes a catch, I'm like, are you gonna write Kayshon Boutte's name on a piece of paper to eat your words, or what's the plan here? And I think he plans to eat crow instead of eat his words. But still, Andrew Callahan, very smart, right almost all the time. So it's fun to needle him when he's not.
Humble pie, perhaps. You could bake him a nice humble pie. That would be quite the gag to bring into the media workroom.
That would be quite the gag. But Kayshon Boutte, over 100 yards, only his second 100-yard game of his career.
And I think he had 84 in the first half.
I
Or
think
maybe it was in the 70s. I think
I think it
84
was in
was
the
his first.
70s.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah,
was impactful early.
overall, like, I don't know. I don't know if you can replicate that every week, obviously, but just the fact that you're starting off week one, you're sharing the field with other professionals like Stefon Diggs and Mac Hollins and Demario Douglas, and you're the guy that leads the team in receptions and yards. Hunter Henry throwing there, Austin Hooper, like really positive sign that Drake Maye was trusting him when he did, and also Kayshon Boutte was earning more of the trust by catching those passes. Like one of the few incompletions they had, one was completely out of bounds from Drake Maye, and the other one potentially could have been a penalty on the defense. He was really knocked and held and all sorts of things on the play, but really positive performance from Kayshon Boutte. I'll let you speak now.
Well, no, it's in line with that. I went because I remembered something that I had written in the summer or looked at in the summer. I'm going to take credit. I wrote it. That the Patriots had not had a 100-yard wide receiver since Julian Edelman in week 2 of the 2020 season.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
I've got a football too.
Yeah, this is how you know we're all business. But Edelman, remember of course, like the best game of his life against Seattle, the diving catch, all that, 179 yards. I believe that was the last time
That's
a
nuts.
Patriots
5
wide
years.
receiver had a 100-yard game. I'm going to double check, but doesn't that sound right?
It's worth figuring out if Jacoby Myers did. But I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. He never had like 1,000 yards with the Patriots.
Most recent game, Patriots 100-yard receiver. Oh, Boutte had one.
Oh yeah, Boutte had one in week 18
18
last year. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Bourne had one on Christmas against Cincinnati.
Oh. How many years ago?
All right, there's a lot. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know where
Jacoby
I got
Myers
that.
had 169 yards in 2020.
I don't know.
He had 111 in 2020, 111 in 2022. Yeah.
I don't know what I was talking about, but I
believed you. I was all in.
What was that? What was it?
I don't know.
Maybe it was the last. No, it wasn't. Was Edelman in 19 was the last 1,000-yard receiver?
Maybe that's it.
I'm guessing that's what it was. All right. So if you could kindly pretend I didn't say that. Well, you know what?
Maybe do like a little rewind.
Take me as I am, and that's a really good rewind. Anyways, yeah, my bad. No, he's 1/10 of the way to the 1,000-yard season, which has not been done since Julian Edelman in 2019.
Do you think the Patriots have a 1,000-yard receiver this year?
It's going to have not tight end, obviously. I mean that would be crazy. It's going to have to be Boutte because I mean it's like just look.
It would have to be Boutte. You don't think Diggs can do it?
Not if today was indicative of how they plan to use Diggs. Who's more likely though? I guess
I'm gonna blow your mind with something right now.
Diggs might be likely to turn a slant into like a 65-yarder.
If Diggs replicated every single game exactly that he had in week 1, he would have 969 yards. So he could very well come out of the depths of being on pace for 969 yards to get to 1,000. But still, he was not even really close to being a full-time player in this game, which was
I was going to say
pretty surprising.
Yeah, I was going to say what you thought about his game because early he was not a factor at all. He wasn't on the field.
Right.
And then he did get a little bit more involved with some short ones. I did mention the 3rd and 5 conversion at the end of the third was a huge play because if you went 3 and out there, like people are going to start leaving.
Yeah.
So he pretty much looked when you did see him like you expected him to, but you just didn't see him as much as maybe you expected him to.
I was expecting a little bit more. And that's unfair to say with him coming off a torn ACL in late October and he got 6 catches for 57 yards. Like I think everyone should be like relatively okay and happy with that, but not a lot of like downfield catches, averages less than 10 yards per catch, not doing a ton after the catch. So I think we were all expecting, since he recovered so quickly, for him to be pretty close to what the Stefon Diggs was before
and you know
he got
what?
injured.
Were you at his locker?
I was, but then he talked for like a minute or two, and then Drake was going, so I had to go over to Drake.
Oh. Well, he was asked how he played, and he said decent, and I was like, "Yep, that's about right." So I don't think he was like, "Hell yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
I think it was getting back in the water potentially.
He played 40 of 71 snaps. Kayshon Boutte led wide receivers with 58 of 71 snaps. And that dipped way down in the second half because he was playing like almost every snap in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Damari Douglas, 45, Matt Collins, 38, and Kyle Williams, 7. So Kayshon Boutte was like a nearly every snap guy. And then the rest of those guys just kind of rotated a bunch.
Quiet day for Mac Hollins. I think
It was
another rookie we didn't talk about is Efton Chisholm, who was inactive as we expected.
inactive.
And I look at that and I say, you could activate him, right? Because people really like him. He had great college stats and he impressed in the summer. He doesn't solve the issue of the lack of downfield threat, I'd say. And I don't know.
Definitely not.
If you're not going to run the ball and
Yeah.
you don't have a deep threat,
Right.
you're going to struggle to score more than 13 points, say, in a football game.
Yeah. And, obviously, I think Damari Douglas is a very explosive player, can get open really quick. He had 2 catches on 7 targets for -2 yards with a touchdown.
Hard to do that.
He had a drop.
Yes, he did.
So I think that this isn't to say that this is going to happen, but for Efton Chisholm to be active and play, I think that'll really only happen if the Patriots have to have a discussion with themselves of like, can Efton Chisholm do what Damari Douglas is doing on a more consistent basis? And I don't think obviously they're there yet. I don't know. And
I don't think they'll ever
get there.
I don't think so.
You don't think they'll ever get there?
I don't think Douglas is going to fall off a cliff. I think he's a pretty good football player.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying that like that would probably be what would have to happen because like he's the backup slot receiver, but Stefon Diggs and Mac Hollins can also play in the slot.
I'm looking at next week's starting corners. Jack Jones and Storm Duck. You might have a better.
Duck?
Yeah, Storm Duck. Great name. Jack Jones. Jack Jones is going to try to get a pick 6 or 2.
Oh yeah, he always does.
But I don't know. I think
he might get one.
I'm looking at that receiving core, right? And how many different shapes can it take? I mean, in terms of what type of like what if they went heavier on Williams and Diggs? Is it a different looking offense? What if they threw Chisholm and Douglas on the field at the same time? Almost like
don't like that. Don't love that.
Okay. I'm just saying I'm trying to envision all the different embodiments.
I think that it like Boutte was so good, it's all got to work around Boutte. So I think that ultimately I'd like to see Diggs more. And then I think that maybe you have to figure out like, does Mac Hollins' size play a factor?
Yeah.
Do we want Damari Douglas, like his ability to get open underneath? Like I think that's where it goes from now, because I don't think you want to take Boutte off the field after what he did. That would be unfair to him.
So they were 1 for 3 in the red zone. The Patriots were. I'm trying to recall all of they obviously scored on the touchdown to Douglas. Yeah. Was the last field goal? Was the last field goal in the red zone?
Well, there was a 35-yarder and the 40-yarder. So the 40-yarder
be on the edge. 21, I would think.
On the edge. Yeah.
Last scramble. Here we go. Touchdown to 1. Field goal was another, and then
touchdown. Oh, No.
I looked at the stats. It said red zone.
Touchdown, field goal, and no, there's only 2 that I'm seeing.
There's only 2.
Yeah.
Explain yourself, Roger Goodell. Your website's busted. I don't know unless the red zone changed, but in my opinion, it's the 20-yard line. And then either way, Mac Hollins is supposed to be theoretically the red zone threat, and they weren't there much today. They got deep once.
It's true. Yeah, definitely not the most positive performance from Mac Hollins. Any other booms for you? Alex Austin, I thought played well. He had a pass breakup. Carlton Davis was playing really well until he gave up that pass to Dante Thornton.
Yeah. Booms are tough to come by. I mean, you got to give a sympathy boom. If you get like Hunter Henry was reliable, but I don't think he was boom worthy.
I thought Landry was really good. Milton Williams actually was in the backfield a lot too. So if you want to give another boom,
was he boom worthy?
Maybe
you
not.
You got to be more stingy with the booms. Like I definitely give it to Landry and Boutte.
Yeah,
but those might be your only booms today.
Yeah, I thought Landry was great. 2.5 sacks, 7 total pressures, 5 stops per PFF. So yeah, Landry was great.
You talk to these football players often and coaches. I heard Landry say like, "Oh yeah, we were worried about the X plays. We were supposed to limit the X plays, but we gave up a lot of them." I heard Rabel say the X plays. When did they stop saying explosive?
Might be a new thing. Might be a Vrabel thing.
Because okay, I'm not crazy, right? Like I figured it out. I'm not a moron, but I don't remember guys just like, yeah, we could not give up X plays. I'm kind of like, all right, when did I miss the memo? I was not included. I was not CC'd on the memo that we call them X plays now.
No, but now you know. Now that was the memo.
Okay, we got it. X plays, no bueno. Patriots give up a lot of them. I counted, I believe, 8 plays of 20 or more yards plus a 19-yarder that the Patriots defense gave up, and that's just like to the feast or famine thing. It's like, yeah, that's cool. You got all those sacks and you got pressure, but if you let Geno Smith tear you up, to the tune of, again, Tucker with 2 catches for 54 yards, Thornton with 2 for 45, and Mayer, who came in when Bowers was hurt, 4 for 38. Like, just brutal. Just a brutal defensive showing. So no more booms for me, especially on defense.
Doom's Bryce Baringer. Doom. You don't like it when the punter is making plays that are impacting the game. We already talked about Jalen Hawkins. Would you go so far as to give Will Campbell or Drake Maye a doom in this game?
Doom is it's like studs and duds.
I know.
Is more friendly because doom carries with it a certain connotation of like impending badness, like
impending doom, maybe.
We are doomed. Yeah. I think you got to give Campbell one because the false start, the second false start was really friggin' bad. I mean, Drake Maye wasn't calling cadence. He wasn't hard counting. He wasn't even looking at the line of scrimmage. He was looking to the sideline, and Campbell just totally goofed. And I don't know.
It doomed that drive.
It did doom the drive. So I don't think it's wrong to give him the doom. I clearly hate giving out any dooms. I find it to be dark and disturbing. But yeah, I wouldn't put Maye there. Even though
if the interception was fully his fault.
Right, but he got hit. But
he got hit.
The decision was awful. There were a lot of, I guess, white jerseys, but I was going to say silver and black jerseys in there, but they're not. They're white. But there was just a lot of Raiders in that area, and it was it wasn't as if someone was open and he got hit and he misfired. So if you wanted to doom him, that's fine.
Also, if he had lost the fumble, I think you could have given him a doom.
Campbell recovered it, right?
He did, yeah.
So that undooms a little of that doom.
A little bit, yeah. Big play.
But yeah, no, I don't think you'd be wrong to put Campbell there because like you said, I should say, he only had 5 mistakes, but they were pretty significant.
Yeah, they came in key moments, unfortunately. And like as a left tackle, you don't ever want to hear your name called.
Yeah.
In a negative way, and unfortunately it was.
How about Josh McDaniels? What the hell was that? He had the really cool play out of the tush-push, almost tush-push formation. You had 13 handoffs. Well, 14 if you count Pop Douglas's. Yep. But Drake Maye will say one was a design run. So you ran it 15 times.
Right.
I don't know that that's a very successful strategy. In a
it's
game
interesting
that was
because
never
like we had this same conversation last year with Alex Van Pelt of like, why didn't you guys run the ball more? And he was just like, yeah, you're right. We should have. So like in some ways it is a little bit depressing that like the beginning of the season, it's not feeling fully 2024-ish, but like there's enough elements that's like, I thought we were past this,
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of the vibe, and they should be better just because of the people there. And like the way Mike Vrabel managed timeouts and managed the clock and managed the end of the first half, and even the decision to go for it, call timeout, penalty, don't go for it. Yep. Like he managed the game like a professional would. So there's some obvious difference there. So I don't think they're heading down that road. But again, I don't know what percentage of people that had the 8, 9, 10 win expectations did so largely because of the schedule. Well, now they're 0 for 1 in one of those games you thought they were going to win.
Oh, for sure. So now I think that by losing this game, it puts all of those games in play as losses.
Yeah.
Because if they can lose the Raiders who were 4-13 last year, then yeah. So
I'm sorry. I had the mistake of just right now. Vrabel called the timeout before the 4th and 1 in the first half.
Yeah.
Because he didn't like it. It wasn't set up. They came out and ran a real dog food play, but Hollins did draw the pass interference.
Yes.
Which was a dicey call.
It was a dicey call, yeah.
I get it because the defender's back was to the quarterback.
Right.
But he really did not interfere. So
that was not going to be completed without
And what drive was that? Because was that one of the score? Was that the field goal, the missed field goal?
Oh,
because that was 4th and 1 from the 47.
Yes.
That ended in a good field goal. So that gave the Patriots the lead.
Yeah.
So if not for that play sucked. There was a double covered Hollins. Just not
then you're talking
catch the ball.
Then you're talking about 20-10, maybe even 20-7 if they don't kick that last field goal. Yeah.
If you factor in that the possession before that, I want to say, yes. So the possession before that was a missed field goal, and then you would have had a failed 4th down in the middle of the field.
Right.
They got a little bit lucky there. So I think we shouldn't let McDaniels sort of escape the microscope, because that was a bad play. I think they just sent Hollins out. You might remember better than me. I don't know.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah, I didn't love that play. How much patience do you have for a rookie kicker? Even a drafted one.
Well, I mean, we've seen it before. You have your Rohrwasser, which really doesn't make it through summer.
Right.
In part due to racism, which you got to factor in. Like,
you have to factor in the racism.
He did get his tattoos removed. He's just wearing sleeves in the summer because it's hot. I mean, it's cold. Yeah. So don't worry about that. Then you have the Chad Ryland, who did last. Did he last the whole year in 23?
Yes.
Because he won Christmas.
Right. Because then he was competing against what's his name? Joey Sly last year.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say you have the patience, right? And you're not like going to cut him tomorrow and bring in it. But you knew, well, I guess we're wrong, because we kind of knew Chad Ryland didn't have it. And now it seems as though he does.
I know. So that's the thing, is like, do you give it all year? How much patience do you really have?
They gave Ryland
sign Parker Romo and then just like kind of demote Andre Borregales. I don't know.
But then how much roster space can you dedicate to the kickers? Remember a game?
Yeah.
This isn't a Bill Belichick podcast. There was a game late in his tenure. I don't know if it was 2022, where he had 2 kickers active, one for kickoffs and one for field goals. And it was like, Bill, what the hell are you doing? So I would say the same if the Patriots, who don't have a great roster, had a practice squad kicker and then decide each week which one to play. I would say, what in the hell are you doing? Just pick one and have him be your kicker. So it's a fair question, because the basis was Ryland is good now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And none of us would have guessed that to be possible after year one. And it's a different spot than like you were talking, you were saying the offense all has to be focused around Booty.
Right.
And I was like, I wish I could time travel you back to December of 23 and just play that for you and just watch your head kind of twirl. Like, development is a thing, but
it is.
You can't afford it at a position where there's one.
You can't afford it at kicker. Like, you have to kind
when
of
you're going to do a lot of one possession games. Like, you're going to have a lot of games that are one possession.
Because like that hitting that field goal, would it have helped them win the game? I don't know, but like, it does change things. It affects the game. Clearly, it affects situations. At the end of the game, suddenly you're down by 7 instead of 10. That's huge.
Yeah. And it wasn't like Carlson missed a 59-yarder. It wasn't one of those. Which, by the way, that had a lot of leg.
Yeah,
that had plenty of leg. It just missed left. So it was a 40-yard field goal. You just simply can't miss those if you were a drafted kicker. I don't think so. I think the draft factors in.
Yeah,
like you have to be better than most rookie kickers, and if you aren't, then it's a problem. I had one more observation I want to share.
All right,
because we are getting up there. It was interesting to see the Raiders just dominate the opening drive.
Yeah,
Patriots 3 and out. Raiders dominating, gashing them again.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get the tipped pick. The Patriots do.
Yep.
And literally dominate the game for 2 quarters or a quarter and a half, whatever it was. And then Drake Maye throws a pick, and it completely goes the other way. And it's like, I've never seen momentum play out so starkly, I guess,
I know. I don't like, momentum is like sort of a nebulous nonsense thing, right. But like in this game, it like felt sort of real.
Yeah. Like, I've seen it. Like, I covered a whole Bruin season once up in the roof, and you can see things differently there. And it's like, when a team gets a goal, you can see them move differently, move more confidently. Like, obviously, it only gets you so far. And you just saw it to such an extreme today.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were looking at a blowout loss after whatever 7-8 minutes of the game. And then they get the pick, which, Davis made a good play to tip it.
He did.
But if that hits the turf, I wonder how does that one?
Right, then does it become like a blowout? Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then the exact opposite, or the reverse, happened after his pick. The Patriots were just stuck in the mud. So kind of an interesting swing of events.
Patriots run
Don't throw
defense. Patriots run defense much better than I expected it to be. Ashton Genty, worse than I expected him to be.
What did he have? 38 yards on 19 carries?
Yeah, he averaged like 2
That's
yards per
crazy.
carry. Yeah.
He had the touchdown, which was after contact. Like I think it was from the 4, I want to say.
He is a short man, Ashton Genty.
He's a bowling ball.
Truly, like I was shocked upon seeing him. I was like, wow, geez, his build is not usual.
He had
especially for like a top 10 pick.
He had a long of 9 yards. So if we I don't know if it's fair to do this. People like to do it. I'm going to do it right now. If you take away the longest run, which is, sort of like a outlier.
This is some Drake Maye.
Maybe you should also take away like a negative 2-yard run to make it fair. Yeah. But outside of that, you have 29 yards on 18 carries, an average of 1.6. So I would say, despite the touchdown, not a great debut for a top, was he the 6th pick?
Something like that. Yeah. You can't feel super great about that as a Raiders fan.
Yeah. But I mean, how did he look speed wise, physically wise in the NFL? Because
I watched him in college. I don't know.
Huh? I don't know. I watched him in college.
He was great.
Go literally 1 on 11 on snaps and win half the time. So I believe in him, but
no, I do too. I'm not I don't know. I'm not erasing. I don't know, ending his career or anything like that. But it wasn't a great start for him, I would say. Yeah. But at the same time, like Trevion Henderson didn't do a ton either. So
yeah, I would agree. I just opened the comments. We got like too many to read. I don't even know what to say.
Oh yeah, I've been watching them. I haven't put anything up yet, but I appreciate all the comments and I've been reading all of them. And Michael is ignoring you guys. He hates you guys.
No,
it's a waste of everyone's time.
I'm not good enough at this to like pay attention to multiple things. I'm really trying to focus. And I think I've been doing a really good job on that.
You've done a great job of focusing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm nailing it. So yeah, I think
everyone's basically just like agreeing with us for the most part.
I don't know.
Someone said Vrabel deserves a doom for that punt.
Let's play it out. Nick. Let's play it out, right? Because I think this is like a personal philosophy thing. So I always feel this way. This thing gets overlooked in these situations. This is plural. But okay, you have 4th and 10 at your own 44, right? Let's say you pull it off and you get the first down and you're on the other side of the 50, right?
Yeah.
And you're at the 45, say.
Yeah.
You could just as easily be facing a 4th and 10 at the other 45.
Well, yeah, and it's also like, how many 10-yard plays do the Patriots even have in this game?
That's a good question. But I'm saying a lot of people don't realize, like, oh, you got to go for it. You got to go for it.
Right. It doesn't mean they're scoring.
If going for it from the 27 of the opponent gets you into the red zone, and then you can start throwing in the end zone, it's a different risk versus reward. It's a different reward than just getting across midfield and still having half the field to get to the end zone.
Right.
That's why I think I really would have punted also. I get it, but I wouldn't have gone for it on 4th and 10. I don't think that's a high probability. Look at their 4th and 1 where they ran one of their worst plays in the game.
Yeah. Well, if they had done that and then drawn a pass interference, maybe, but just run the pass interference play.
Yeah. The pass interference play is sick.
I think I'm taked out on this one. I think that we did a good job of discussing and dissecting and analyzing. And
what about around the league? So unfortunately, was not able to watch most of the Jets Steelers game. That seemed like a hootenanny. The Jets were leading. I don't know how much you saw it. In the 4th quarter, they were up 26-17.
Wow.
They did not win the game.
It's rough. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns.
They even took a 32-31 lead in the middle of the 4th quarter. They did not win the game. So the Jets, Steelers, fun football game. Did not anticipate that one.
I know.
Like
Patriots Raiders not quite as fun. Would have been fun to cover a fun game today. Hopefully,
and I noticed this because a friend of mine was asking about tickets, and I'm like, dude, I'm not the person to ask about buying Patriots tickets. I'm just not experienced at it.
You're the person to ask about monitoring pop punk band ticket sales.
But I do monitor these things because I am curious about the interest. And these tickets, as you know, for Patriots Raiders they were in demand most of the time.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at all the resale sites a week ago, you're talking like 150 get in probably for upper 300s.
Yeah.
Down low, forget about it. That's Cosmopolitan stuff.
But too slow.
I did look this morning, even at like 10, not even last minute, you could get in for $40. And then I looked right before kickoff, you could get like 200 levels decent seats or like second row of the 300s for like $20.
Today
So
for the Patriots game?
yes. So I don't
Oh,
know if
so that's a rain factor, I think.
I think rain factored in, but I also think maybe the inflated prices ahead of time made people a little overly confident that they'd sell their tickets for a lot, and then all of a sudden it's game day and they just didn't move that many at that price. So something to watch if you want to get out there to a game. It's worth a risk, I think, to head down there and keep an eye on your whatever your resale app of choice is.
That's wild. And I think the rain really did impact things because if today was like 70 degrees and sunny,
Well, Doug,
everyone would have wanted to be there. But like there was no one even in the stadium like 45 minutes before the game. No one
I saw
wanted
your
to come
picture.
anywhere close to there.
Doug, if that's true, and I'm not even arguing that it is or isn't, if that's true, what hath happened to the New Englanders, to New England football fans, that a
Gotta
little
give them
sprinkle?
gotta give them a product that you want to sit in the rain for.
I covered 2 games in 2018 against the Browns. Was it 2018? 2017, maybe. The Browns and the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
The most rain I've ever seen in my life. Like walking from the other end of the parking lot, I was grumpy. I got in to the press box and my whole pants from my knees down were soaked all day. And do you know what that game had? 68,000 people there the entire time. So if you can't deal with it, was misting, lightly sprinkling. If that kept people away, Doug, that is a tough scene all around.
I don't know if you know this, but that 2018 team had Tom Brady at quarterback,
Who?
Rob Gronkowski at tight end, Julian Edelman at wide receiver.
I don't think it was 2018. I think
Dante
it was 2017.
Hightower at linebacker. You had, I'm just saying, like, there were guys worth sitting in the rain for. I actually don't know. I heard he's not welcome back in the building.
Yeah, we should probably do a little. Was it 20? Must have been 2017 because it wasn't 2018. Let me just double check. Cowboys. What year was that?
Was it 2019?
I suppose that is one other option that it could be.
Because they played the Cowboys in Dallas in what, 2015 with all those like the cool pictures,
It was 2019, correct. So the reigning Super Bowl champions were playing in the raining weather. But remember how wet those were? And there was no
but the product,
no issue getting fans.
It's the product.
That's tough. And that's something to watch because like that's the whole reason Mayo was Kraft's guy.
Yeah.
And then quickly moved on because Vrabel was now Kraft's guy. And they have to be a little bit more compelling, I would say, for the locals.
So we should talk about Bill Belichick's comment. He said that he's not welcome back at Gillette. So why would he welcome them to UNC?
Not true. Who spoke at Tom Brady's jersey retirement ceremony last summer for 20 minutes?
That was in June of 2024. I think that if there was an actual moment that Bill Belichick wanted to be in New England for and was not invited or not allowed, I think we would know about that specific moment. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it comes out tomorrow. Yeah. They're like, he really wanted to be at Tom Brady's statue unveiling and no one would let him go. I feel like we would know already, right?
Yeah. And it's just, look, you could sit here and be like, well, who on UNC are the Patriots even scouting? Well, I mean, their quarterback did come from there. So, I mean, it's a pretty, like the most important pick they've made in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But I was writing it up this morning and I wanted to see, like, did Belichick promise giving these kids a road to the NFL? And literally right before he was officially named the head coach, like he was on McAfee and was doing, if I were interested in a college program, the college program would be a pipeline to the NFL for the players that had the ability to play in the NFL. It would be a professional program. It would be an NFL program at a college level. And then this is the big part. I feel very confident that I have the contacts in the National Football League to pave the way for those players that would have the ability to, the players that would have the ability to have the opportunity to compete in the National Football League. Now, Doug, over 24 years with the New England Patriots, how many great contacts do you suppose Bill Belichick established outside of his own building?
I think he did. Like it was at least you were made to believe that like he had relationships with other coaches. But if he did, I feel like they're all, I don't know, kind of getting erased right now with how he's handling this program. Like there's an argument to be made that if like you're already pissing off the Patriots and like other teams are now having a hard time watching their practices, like he might be actually giving his players the worst opportunity to make it to the NFL out of every college program.
It's certainly messy, and it's just idiotic logic. The quote that you got, and then unfortunately, literally everybody else got, like verbatim. That's kind of lame.
Well, I got it first.
That's true, and it was exciting. And then that same person was just like, "I'm gonna just copy and paste. I don't have time for this," which was, oh, the way they've treated him. Why would they welcome him? It's like, this isn't about that. It's not about you. It's not about your past. And frankly, you made your past part of the selling point on you getting this job. Yeah. And the fact that you're just wiping it out is just, it's foolish. It's disappointing. I think Kraft's best move is to just not say anything. I thought the announcement last week by Kraft to say he wants to build a statue was kind of tacky given the timing, where the whole country's kind of making fun of Bill. And it's like, watch this, I got his back. It kind of like, it was a little,
the timing was great. Cause like, if he did it now, it would seem even more petty on his part.
He should come out and be like, we actually started work on the statue. We just need Bill to okay it, and then we'll put it up. It just sucks. Like, I guess it goes into the whole, I just moved my microphone. I don't want to move it.
It didn't make a noise.
I'm going to talk sideways then, because I'm not touching this puppy. It goes into the whole fact that the ending of the glory years sucked so much worse than it needed to. Really, the last few years of time, like from 2017, where Tom Brady is making Facebook docuseries whining that he can't have his trainer give him a massage anywhere other than his private suite that's like exposed to the stadium on game day of a playoff game.
Alex Guerrero, by the way, wellness coordinator of the Raiders.
Yeah, and they're 1-0 in the Alex Guerrero era. You know, you have Brady with a ghastly gash on his hand winning the AFC Championship game, and Bill getting kind of pissed that people are interested in it, saying, you know, it's not like he had open heart surgery. When that picture came out, like, there should have been a press conference, and Bill should have been like, all right, it was
basically open heart surgery.
Yeah. So like from there to 2018 to trying to trade Gronkowski, to the threats of retirement, to just the contract, Brady basically begging the media to get a contract for him because he had run out of options, like that. And then everything that happened after with the Patriots.
And now it's just getting worse. Yeah.
You kind of thought by now, if you and I were talking about it in September of 2025, it would be irrelevant. And it's kind of like, why are you talking about that? And it's like, because it just is degrading. Because like you said, if Tom Brady's retirement ceremony was tomorrow, Bill Belichick probably wouldn't show up and make his really long, boring speech. That was so long. That was
it was long. Yeah.
Too long.
And he was there. He was in the facility.
Now, granted, he like helicoptered in and out, not literally. Right. He was shuffled in by his child girlfriend and shuffled out. So like he didn't participate in the night, but he was literally there, welcomed back to Gillette Stadium. And like you said, if he wanted to go to the game today, no one was stopping him.
I don't think so, at least. Yeah. I mean,
he wouldn't get the Donnie Wahlberg seat right next to Robert Kraft in the booth.
You don't think you would have rung the bell of the lighthouse, been the keeper of the lighthouse?
That's the thing. Like, yeah, man, it ended, but to still feel wronged by that is I guess instructive on his mindset, which is
now at this point, like we might never get a statue or a resolution to this. That feels like the most likely scenario at this point, right? Is Bill ever going to get over this? If he's being this vocal about it, probably.
I guess we have a long way to go. I'm not going to take too much from UNC's win over the Charlotte 49ers.
No.
I did see a joke on the Twitter about the 49ers and a 49-year age gap. So that's something that was out there. It's just something that was out there. Yeah. I just feel like if that really crashes and burns, which it could, I'm not saying it will, he might come looking for a friend. And maybe that's when he makes up with Kraft, when like he's really on it. Because there was
that just makes him even more angry. I don't know. Who knows?
There was the story, I don't know if it was Wickersham in December last year, and it was all about how Bill was voted off the island and how he got sick of talking to like owners who think they know anything about football. And he was there to show them if, that was his mindset, which it probably was. And if it doesn't work in college and UNC gets sick of it after a year or even two, I do think eventually he's going to have to see that, right? Like he's going to have to be like, it is not everyone else in the world who is wrong. Perhaps I was wrong, right?
I'm not going to say right to that. I think it's entirely possible that sometimes people just never see that. They never see themselves being wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyways, in a similar note, Pete Carroll became the oldest head coach to win a football game in the NFL today, which again happened in Gillette Stadium. It should be the guy who replaced Pete Carroll in New England. I mean, he's 6 months younger, so he'd have to eventually. But it never should have come to this.
It shouldn't have. I do need to go, but I was thinking about something recently, and this is opening up a whole can of worms. Maybe even like a bucket of worms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a gallon of worms. I can't believe I'm even asking you this. Do you think we ever get, like in our lifetimes and Tom Brady's lifetime, do you think we ever get an actual explanation of what happened during Deflategate? Like, does he wait until he's in the Hall of Fame and then be like, so this is what really happened?
It's a really good question because I think Brady at this point has nothing to lose unless you do have that Hall of Fame thing. Like even at the Netflix roast, which I know was a joke, he's like, you could have just paid me the $2 million and I would have told you I effing did it.
Like, yeah, I think that was a joke. Yeah.
Right. Well, like, yeah, it's like if you just pay me, I would have said I didn't if I got the money. But he also said, like, I would have told you I did. The thing is, I know what happened in Deflategate.
I forget. What's your theory?
They played the Jets in October. Bill Levy was the referee.
Yeah.
These texts were in the thing because these are the only texts I could find. And
they overinflated the balls.
The ball boys were texting each other saying, or he was texting his girlfriend. It was either Jastrzemski or I think it was Jastrzemski texting like his wife or something. But like Tom was right. Those things were blown up like crazy. They were like 13 or 14. I forget. Actually, 15, forget the numbers.
Whatever it was,
yeah. He's like, Tom was right. Yeah. And now, granted, that was a day after. I don't know the sanctity of those measurements, but I believe after that game, because I remember that game distinctly. It was a night game against the Jets. Brady was screaming, yelling. You're throwing to. I forget who he was throwing to that night in early 2014. Like Dobson might have still been on the team.
Yeah. Tompkins probably was.
Yeah, maybe Amendola was like hurt, and you had like whatever it was. It was a grind.
Tim Wright.
It was a grind of a game, and he was screaming on the sidelines. And I bet he went to the ball boy and was like, "If they're ever like this again, I will gut you like a fish in front of the whole stadium at the 50-yard line." And they were probably like, "Yes, sir." And then from that point on, they probably made sure they were never like that again.
They went to the bathroom, tested each ball, made sure that they were 12. If they were less, they would deflate them a little bit.
I don't think the gauge was there. I think it was making sure they weren't rocks, which, again, if PSI mattered, they would have never been rocks by an NFL referee. Bill Levy, who was interviewed in the Wells Report.
What would be the point in feeling them in the bathroom? Why couldn't they just
They could take air out.
What?
Because so they could take some air out.
Well, I think you take air out with a gauge. You don't take it out with like...
Oh, I would just stick a needle in there and... You let it breathe a little bit. Yeah. But the point is, Bill Levy was interviewed by Ted Wells' team.
Yeah.
His name was on the interview list. Do you know who's not mentioned in there at all? Bill Levy. Because you know what Bill Levy told him? I don't know. I inflated the footballs. I don't measure them.
Right.
Which would have taken Deflategate and made it a non-story. And that was at that point they were too invested when Jeff Pash edited it and got rid of it because Deflategate had to be a thing. So I think Bill Levy, because guess what? When was football invented? 1840s?
Something like that, yeah.
And so from 1840s, call it, to December 14, to January of 2015, no one cared about the exact air pressure in a football. It's just like you have it, you hold it, you play it. And then from this January of 2015 until about, I don't know, February of 2017, it was the most important story in the world.
Yeah.
And guess what has happened since then in the near decade? No one has given a crap about it.
No.
So it was just completely manufactured. Like I that's what I believe happened. I would love to know though. So
yeah,
I doubt it. Bill doesn't care. Like think about even Ernie Adams on the Dynasty show.
Right.
Could have he was it that or Spygate where he completely zipped his lip.
Right.
And
yeah, I think it was Spygate. Yeah.
It's probably safe to talk about it now, but I think
I know
that's just the way Bill and his loyalists will be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the best bet is that Brady is the one who says something about it, or like the non-disclosure agreement runs out with Jastrzemski and McNally, and they finally come clean for some money.
They have disappeared off the earth. Trust me, I've done a little research, but I would say to your question, or no, to what we were just talking about. Sorry about the bad relation. Like add that to the list. Well, you got to ask Tom. You got to ask Tom.
Oh
about
my
the footballs.
God, that was insane. And then Tom Brady stands up there for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got killed for that press conference. I didn't think he was. I think he was just like, I'll try to answer your questions. Like I don't study PSI footballs. Like I guess, and I felt like he was trying to protect the lower level employees by not being like, I don't know what they do. Put it like he didn't want to do what Bill did to him. Yeah. So that's why you found some like stuttering and some in betweenness, and the fact that they probably were adjusting it a little bit. But the story is that like the NFL didn't track it.
And like the funniest thing, and not to get into it, we gotta go, but like the funniest thing too is that like based on the science, like they genuinely did not like fudge it to the point where it like couldn't be proven by science. Like it was so borderline.
Well, no, the number that Pash gave to the Patriots to basically open their doors to the investigation was it was Dan Gardy, I think, sent an email to the Patriots and was like, they were 15. And it was like, all right, I guess you got to investigate. And that no balls were 15.
No.
They made that up. So it's just a little advice to you. You know me pretty well now. If you got to go, don't pose a Deflategate question. All right? That's just
I just had to. It was fun. I hope we get a full, this is exactly what happened. Because like no one cares anymore. Anyone who would like ever bring up like, oh, they cheated because of Deflategate, it's like, you are a moron. That was not anything. They won so handily against the Colts in the second half of that game. Like, come on.
Yeah. Also, one last thing on Tom Brady. A friend of mine is a Giants fan. So this is one person's review. He said Tom Brady was great today on the broadcast.
Oh, damn.
Like, wasn't the corporate fake stock statement. So I'm interested to see Tom Brady. 1 o'clock Tom Brady kind of stinks. But yeah, there you go. Tom Brady still doing it. A Raiders owner, not at the game. He was working.
All right, I'm going to put my daughter to bed.
I'm going to play with my football.
What was that?
I'm going to play with my football.
Mine is it's like very deflated right now. I wish I could show you.
Got to get a pump, bro.
I got to pump it. I got to get McNally and Jastrzemski on the case. Or we should get Bill Levy on the case. But
unfortunately, I was going to contact him, but he has passed away of old age. So we can't get Bill Levy. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, this has been Pat's Chat Podcast. We'll be back again this week to talk about the Dolphins game and everything that transpires during the week. Until then, give us a rating, give us a review, subscribe, do all those fun things that you do with your favorite podcasts. And we will talk to you guys again this week. Goodbye.
Bye.